Welcome back to Communist Watch. Folks, I had been really alarmed recently by watching what's happening on the street of Oregon, on the street of Chicago, on the street of New York City, and these leaders, some are in the name of social justice or racial justice, some on the name of the Antifa organization. The kind of violence, the loading, the beating up people who disagree with you, and especially alarming is the attack against the law enforcement, against the police that are really the vessels for law and order for any civil society. God actually has created that the civil government is part of this post-deprived world for the function to reward good and punish evil. And yet, some of those propagandists or even leaders of this moment basically now promoting a kind of a new theory of anarchy, somehow anarchism or lawlessness is the only solution to build up the social justice or racial, to address this racial injustice issue. And somehow the kind of a revolutionary means of violence, looting, destruction is a norm. And unfortunately, some politicians turn a blind eye on this despicable violence acts. And so I just want to say a few words on this. The anarchy is absolutely lawlessness. There's no state or no healthy society or country can long survive in that kind of a condition. And most of you would agree that even kind of a corrupt government is better than no government at all. It's John Calvin, a very reverend theologian during the Reformation moment. He goes as far as saying, a worst human government is better than anarchy. Worst human government is better than anarchy. And he even kind of implied as bad as a tyranny might be, Calvin would consider it better than anarchy, where the total lack of order could only lead to the collapse of the society. Because, just think about this. In the Old Testament, in the book of Judges, when there is no king or no government, the people just decide to do whatever they see fit, they see right in their own heart. And we know, from our own experience, when human being, themselves becomes the standard, and then you create zillions of standard. And if can you imagine? If we drive on the road and some stop at the traffic, some just go through, and some would stop in the middle, the red light or yellow light. Everybody claims according to my standard. I don't need to obey this, and because this is a corrupt government, and so I don't want any government. So that is basically absolutely will lead destruction. In fact, in the New Testament, in the book of Luke, when we read some soldiers came to John the Baptist and asked him, said, what should we do? He actually, because John the Baptist was asking for a message of repentance. And here's John the Baptist replied. He said, quit your career and be a pacifist and be a social worker and defund the police and disband the police department. Does that what John the Baptist say? No. He said, don't extort money and don't accuse people falsely. Be content with your pay. He was not obviously a pacifist in that manner. He's basically asked them to just stop doing evil, but keep your calling, keep your vocation, and as a soldier, and be a good soldier, and don't make up evidence accusing other people, and be content with what you have, and don't commit corruption and by extortion. The antithesis of the social injustice, that we cannot deny. In some part of the society, there are always problems. Unless you think 99% of law enforcement or policemen are all corrupted or bad cops, even that for that we cannot preach the anarchism and that lawlessness. As Calvin said, even the worst human government is better. Than the anarchy, than lawlessness. So we should not abide for this kind of hatred or driven ideology. Actually, is part of that comes from communism origin. So I just want everybody to pray for our country and pray for our law enforcement because they are created as the guardian of the law and order of our society. If they have some bad apples, and surely we need to deal with it, reform it, and legislatively, administratively. But to pronounce and advocate for anarchy, lawlessness, and even violence against them, against their family members, and is totally unacceptable. And those people should be held accountable. Thank you for being with me, and let's continue our fight for freedom. Thank you.